engineers, just they're normal. They're just lonely
Are they
mostly.
married?
Some of them, yeah. I actually ended up having like a 3-year relationship with one, like a normal
Romantic, where
relationship.
you actually liked him and he liked you.
Yeah. He was married, had kids and everything. So it's not like we were like going in with those expectations, but that's
Yeah, I mean, isn't it interesting how the guy who's paying her, to sleep with him, not only is married, has kids, but she still will opt into a relationship with him, right? Despite the fact that there are, I'm sure, many other men who would be willing to get into a relationship with this woman, despite the line of her work. What is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, we're going to be looking at an interview again, done by a channel called Soft White Underbelly. Now, you may recognize this channel. If you don't, I would encourage you to go subscribe to them. Take a look at their videos. They do a lot of interviews like this, so I'm going to leave the link to the full thing in the description. But yeah, guys, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Patreon for exclusive videos if you'd like to see more of the channel. The link for that is in the description as well. But without further ado, guys, we're going to jump in and see what she has to say.
just what happened.
Was it a sugar daddy relationship?
Yeah.
It was. So you didn't truly. I mean, it's a fine line, and it gets blurred all the time. Were you in love with him? Were you?
No, we were in love. We lived together and everything. He was just helping me out with like 2,000 a month. That's not enough.
Yeah, guys, just a casual 2,000 a month, right? Now, depending on where you live, in fact, I would argue 99% of where you can live in the world, two grand a month is nothing to scoff at, right? For a lot of people, that's their rent money. Okay, like for most people, that's their rent money. I get those guys in the comments of Taylor, my condo cost me 3 grand, or yeah, whatever. Okay, but like for most people, that's not an insignificant amount of money to be getting for free. Okay, and again, I'm going to pull up an article later on from our favorite subreddit gentleman, where we're going to talk about marriage in particular, and why women tend to go for men who are older, who tend to be in relationships, because you get a lot of young guys, and older. You get a lot of guys in general who are confused. Well, how come she chose this guy? He already has a girlfriend, or this guy treats her like trash. How come she chose him? Right, and so those are some of the things we're going to be talking about today. But what you come to realize as a guy, the really sad truth about this is morals don't really enter into the equation of attraction very much. Now, you are told as a man that morals enter into the realm of attraction. You are told that, but that's not the truth. Okay, let's keep going.
Enough to like make me stay. Like I gave up a lot of things.
That would mean I've got about 30 of those kind of relationships going right now.
Yeah.
What?
You see that laughter she's giving, right? What just happened there is she actually made a critical character assessment of the man who runs this channel. Now, I like the man who runs this channel. I always get his name mixed up, but I want to say it's Mark. But she just see, when girls laugh like that, you might, most guys would look at that and kind of go, oh, well, she thought that was kind of funny or something. What actually happened there was a character assessment. Okay, so now she's thinking in her mind, does this man pay for women to have bedroom fun with him? Is that what's happening? Or is he referring to employees? Right? If he's referring to girls, which is the implication there, then he just lost a lot of what I guess you could call value. Okay. Now, guys who pay for women are not generally respected. It just is what it is.
And where do you see your life going from here?
Well, like I said, I'm in school, so graduate school. It's a good question. I mean, I try not to think too much.
How old are you?
Why is it when I know a lot of you guys are getting frustrated that I keep pausing it? I got to do it because of the nature of the channel, right? This is a commentary channel, guys. I'm going to leave the link to the full thing in the description. But it just always blows my mind, man, when you ask people the question, what are you doing with your life? Where do you want to go? And people, particularly girls, just have no idea, right? A lot of them get to the point where they're like, oh, wait a minute, my looks are fading. I have to start relying on myself now. right? I either have to get a beta guy to take care of me, for lack of better words, right? I have to get a guy to supplement my lifestyle. That's my first option, who I'm not going to be attracted to, so dealing with him is going to be a pain in the neck, right? I'm either going to have to do that or start relying on myself, right? So when you ask these girls, like a lot of girls haven't come to that realization yet. So when you ask them, they're like, oh, well, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with my future. I haven't really thought about it much. Oh, I'm 28, 29, but I'm still in school, right? Still in school. You guys, back in the olden times, gentlemen, right? These, this whole back in school idea, women weren't in school. Now, I'm not making an argument for or against that. I personally don't really care if they're in school or not. But it used to be the case that women would not go to school and that men would select their partners for them, a guy who would be around, and who would be a good provider, someone to take care of her kind of thing. Now, what's happened recently, and again, I'm not making a moral judgment on this. Feel free to do so in the comments if you like, guys. But women are, open to choose whoever the hell they want, right? And this leads to a lot of, well, their life just essentially turns into anxiety, confusion, jumping from one guy to the next, shiny object syndrome. You've heard it all before. Let's keep going.
25.
25. So you're very young, and
Yeah.
you can go in any direction from here. But this lifestyle that you're living, I mean, what comes along with it? Are there emotions that it brings up, or is there? When you're by yourself, do you sometimes have feelings that come from doing this kind of work?
Only during. Usually not when I'm by myself. When I'm by myself, I like to like compartmentalize. Like,
yeah.
I'm like, that's what I do for money. Because I'm only doing that because with my job, I make enough to like support myself and live a normal life, I guess.
Are you saving?
Guys, a lot of girls, if you sit down and you ask them, why do you do this? They'll say it's because of the money. They'll say it's because of my life situation. And now I'm not trying to take away from people who have, like let's just say they've got literally no money. They have to do questionable things to support themselves. I'm not taking away from the terribleness that can be people's life situations. Okay. But make no mistake, there are jobs around. In most places, guys, there are jobs around. I know with the pandemic, things haven't been as pleasant, but this is not an ugly looking woman. I've mentioned this on the channel, but there are always barista jobs and stuff like that, guys. Now, when you ask these people, they'll say, well, I got to support myself. I got to support my family, la da da. But if you take a look at their lives, like, right, and you look at their spending habits, the money that they're making is often, these people are generally, not always, but generally very impulsive. Okay, so when they say, well, I'm making money to support my family, I'm making money to support, myself. And you look at their spending habits and, their words do not reflect what is actually happening in their life. Okay, so you'll get these girls who, are blowing hundreds of dollars on, shoes, clothes, all of this crap, and then they want to turn around and say, oh yeah, well, I'm in this industry because of my family. It's like, no, don't be using your family as a shield for the decisions that you want to make. Right? I've said this before, but girls are oftentimes, they're like PR people, guys. They say the thing that is least damaging to their social reputation. Girls value pretty much everything under social reputation. You see, we as men, we place truth above that, generally speaking. Because you know what happens if you don't tell the man the truth? He goes out, and if he acts upon that advice, he just gets screwed over. Right? If you tell a man something that's not the truth, and then he goes out and he actually tries to solve the problem with the information that he's being given, he's going to get a smack in the face. And, sometimes that smack in the face costs you a few $100,000 when we're talking about marriage and stuff like that. Okay? So, anyway.
Money?
I'm trying to, but the thing is, I take care of my mom, and then I also take care of my sister. So I'm like financially supporting them.
So between your job and your side job,
yeah, I'm supporting 3 people.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, so I'm trying to save money, but it's impossible.
Yeah, life gets.
Maybe that is the case. Okay, maybe she's telling the truth there. But again, anyway, like, I know it's bad to use personal examples, guys, but the girls that I know that do this sort of thing, right? They're impulsive. Okay, it's not as if they're out there actually supporting their family. In a lot of cases, they have their impulsivity levels are too high, right? Which, by the way, is also reflected in their partner choices, generally speaking, right? Because girls like this, they come very quickly to the attitude of, well, all men are trash, all men are terrible, all men are jerks, right? And these are typically the women who you'll hear the phrases like if you're a guy and you're wanting to stick to virtues, truth, honesty, kindness, you want to look after her. You're one of those guys, right? You're going to typically hear the phrase, "Oh well, you're not like the rest of those guys. You're not like the rest. You're a good guy." Right? And you know what happens when you get those sentences, guys? What that really means is you are not a viable partner option that I find attractive. Maybe your husband material in 30, 40 years, right? When I need the bag and I need a place to live and I need you to raise my kids, by the way. So they're not even your kids. Oftentimes girls will get you to raise kids that aren't even their own. That's when it's your time to shine. Okay? Now again, this girl's life situation could be completely different. I don't know. But generally speaking, girls who get into this kind of industry, one of the reasons why is because their fathers are typically not in the picture, they don't have boundaries, and they are very bad at making decisions. And those decisions also extend to financial decisions. Okay? Let's continue.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Does your family know you're doing this?
I think my dad knows that I was stripping, but no.
So now you're going to do a video on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to live more openly, I guess,
Yeah.
and honestly. And I don't think that, I mean, they would prefer I wouldn't.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think they just love me. And
your motive seems to be to help support your family.
yeah, mainly.
Which is noble. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, what other thing is she going to say? Is she going to say something that's not noble? Okay? Like these interviews, you gotta understand, guys, when girls get asked questions, the reason that they answer them the way they do is not to provide you with something objectively useful or objectively truthful. Right? And this is an upsetting fact to a lot of guys. Right? Guys are in relationships with a girl who has, quite frankly, probably never told them the truth oftentimes. They'll be like, oh, well, how come we broke up and then within 2 months she was with another guy? How come when we broke up, she said that she didn't like this guy, but she went with him anyway? Right? And then she'll give some BS excuse, right? Of like, oh, how, I was just, how many of you guys have heard this one before? Okay. I was upset at the time. I was broken. I didn't know who I was. I needed to find myself. I wanted to be a free and open spirit, or I need to explore myself. Variants of that, right? Those are the things you hear, right? Because they have a tint to them. You see, they have a tint of nobleness. Now, you as a guy, right? Something you can kind of learn from these interviews, I guess, is not only all of this stuff that we've kind of been covering, but hey, like if you're a guy and you want to go out there and you want to be a player, or whatever word you have, to kind of encompass that, just take their language and start using it, guys. Right? Now, if you're a guy and you look like a guy who gets a lot of women, just I know this is icing on the cake because if you already got a lot of women, you're already there, kind of thing. But if you just throw in phrases like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to live a more open and honest life," right? It's funny, like it's like if you look like a guy who has cheated on your past 3 girlfriends, and then you say, "Oh yeah, I'm just trying to live an open and honest life," she's just gonna look at you like, "Oh wow, really? That's so noble." You see how like the morals are like this like disgusting, like the morals are just a by thought, right? They're like the thing that she needs to make herself look good, but they're not actually instantiated in anything that's being done. I just find that to be so funny, man. Just copy the BS language and the half truths and all that. It's just it's really funny to watch happen, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not out here buying like Louis Vuitton bags and driving a BMW or anything like that. It's just what I feel like I have to do.
Right.
But I mean, it does get in the way of me having like a normal relationship, I guess.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
I would think most guys that might want a relationship with you would have a hard time with you doing that at night.
Some guys don't mind.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a
You know, there's a particular type of word for those people. Now, if I was casual bachelor and I had a little soundboard, I'd play that noise, but unfortunately, I don't have it.
and there's always exceptions to everything I say, right?
Yeah, some guys don't mind, but yeah, it's not like an ideal situation.
Yeah, I would think I'd have a hard time if you were my girlfriend and you're going off to entertain 3 guys tonight.
Well, currently I'm only seeing one person once a week. But sometimes I'll have like, I guess, regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we can be in a relationship. You know, don't you know we can be in a relationship? I only see one guy a week. Like, come on. Right? I only get paid for bedroom fund by one guy a week, so it's not that bad. Guys, we're going to take a moment here and we're going to quickly jump into a little article I have pulled up on the side from our favorite dating subreddit. Now, you may recognize this subreddit, and we're just going to jump right in. So I'm going to read this to you. Now, it's going to require me to skip through a couple of times, so I want you gentlemen to bear with me, and we're just going to get out the message here and talk about how it's relevant to what she initially said about having a 3-year-long relationship with a married man. Okay? So, we're not going to read the title because it's stupid, right? Let's just go straight into it. It is also doubtful that older wives benefit psychologically and socially from a younger husband. This effect only seems to work for men. On average, men have fewer and less quality social contacts than those of women, says this person. Thus, unlike the benefits of a younger wife, a younger husband wouldn't help extend the life of his older wife by taking care of her, going for a walk with her, and enjoying late life together. She already has friends for that. The older man, however, doesn't. Now, something I'd like to point out for this, guys, is like I'd like to be able to skip through the pages, but I don't know how exactly I've set it up, so I don't want to, you know, dox myself. But a lot of the times, the reason why women get with older men, guys, and I'm sure many of you know it, is just resources. It's just straight up resources. You know, it's time to settle down. And even when it's not time to settle down, guys, girls will be attracted to men who have more life experience than them, who are more attractive than them, who have more going on than them. Right? It's all about seeking your better in a lot of different aspects. Now, some of you guys might call this hypergamy. Other guys might not even know what that term means, and you just call it common sense. But at the end of the day, guys, when you hear these people talk about, oh yeah, I was dating a guy who's married, like the moral implications of that, she doesn't see any problems because biologically speaking, she just extended her. If you look at it from a biological perspective, guys, she just made a very smart decision. To hell with the morals if you live 20% longer and you live a better life, right? To hell with the morals there. Okay? But anyway, guys, I think we're going to wrap up today's video there. As always, make sure you leave a comment on your way out. Leave your thoughts. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so. That's what the comments are for. Subscribe on your way out if you're new or if you're liking the videos. And as always, guys, be sure to check out the Patreon link in the description for exclusive videos and stuff over there. It's a great way to get more out of the channel. I'll be releasing another video over there in the next couple of days. So for those of my guys who are in there, be sure to keep an eye out for that. And as always, guys, take care. And I will see you boys in the next one. Peace.